Welcome
to Wrestling on the Rocks.
Wrestling on the Rocks. Shush up. Is that how you do it?
I'm not.
What are you talking about?
I'm not as smart have I ever been. Shit, I don't even drink.
Welcome to our St. Paddy's Day episode. Celebration.
Yeah. A little bit of the bubbly. A little bit of the bubbly.
Oh.
I like that the Jameson is covering what he's drinking.
Is it? Perfect.
It
So it looks like a bottle pops off a Jameson.
Yeah.
You're quick on that.
Oh, God.
No one's surprised. No one's surprised by that.
Oh, now I'm all sticky. Damn it.
Makes sense. It makes sense to me.
God damn it. Okay.
Having a little Irish coffee. My 1-2-3. Did you just... It's not getting... It's just dribbling on your crotch, dude. It's gonna look like you have a drip issue.
It's all good.
I thought you got that cleared up.
It's not the worst I've ever looked on in a grocery store.
Look, that guy's clearly peed himself a little bit.
This is why we need more toilet paper.
Welcome to the show where every show is our first show.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're doing still.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the world of wrestling, what's going on in our chat and such. I'm going to go ahead and pop into the chat as well right now. How you doing? How's you holding up? How you holding up?
Doing good. Not dying.
That's good. You work for a good company that's allowing everyone to stay home and paid, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's getting that luxury right now, but it looks like there are things happening to hopefully tide that over for everybody. I hope everybody does the right thing to take care of everybody else.
Yes.
That's all you can hope for.
And if you are affected or whether that be physically ill, affected economically, or just feeling off, please take care of yourselves. Do the best you can. We're here for you.
Yeah, and keep watching wrestling. That's what we're doing. That's how we get through it all. Hello to Aaron Marsh.
Woo!
Friend of the show. Cheers. Ooh.
I am.
We got our St. Paddy's Day setup. Let's see. So interestingly enough, when you think about like the week in wrestling, when we last left off, everything was business as usual, man. We went into NXT, we went into AEW Dynamite, and everything was as expected to be. It wasn't until I believe that Thursday
that things started occurring. Questions, yeah.
Everything turned on its head. So what did you think of NXT at the time when it popped up? Did you watch NXT?
I did not watch NXT.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it either, to be honest. It didn't sound compelling. Keith Lee against Cameron Grimes. Can you guess who won?
Cameron Grimes.
That's right. He always wins.
Yeah.
You had Mia Yim.
Wow.
Well, she's with Lee.
Yeah.
They're together. They're an item. You had Mia Yim defeating Dakota Kai to get in the contenders match. You had Kushida defeat Raul Mendoza. You had Tegan Nox defeating Deonna Purrazzo. And you had Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle defeating Undisputed Era. That was pretty much all that happened on that show. There was, I believe, very little when it came to promos and such. It was just mostly those matches back to back to back. And it looks like this week they're not going to be doing much. They're going to be doing some in-studio promos and replaying old stuff. I don't know what yet, though. But this NXT was just another one, like I said, where they're kind of getting a little stale and they're getting a little too easily predictable, and they're not really pushing much of a story. These were all matches that didn't really have much of a backstory.
Yeah.
Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes had no backstory, so I had no reason to be invested. Mia Yim and Dakota Kai had somewhat of a backstory, but not anything crazy. And they're trying to get into a number one contenders ladder match for Takeover. Kushida and Raul, like none of them had backstory. The closer you had backstory to Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle against Undisputed Era, but did they even? I mean, yeah, I guess they took the belt from them, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so it was a rematch, but what old NXT matches would we like to see them air? If they're just trying to say, hey, here's good stuff that you should see if you like NXT, the unfortunate bit is you'd be showing more talent about people who are not there. So I don't think they can do that. I think you have to replay stuff that's relevant to the storylines, sort of like they've been doing on SmackDown and Raw. I think that like if it was up to me, I'd be playing like KO versus Balor, Shinsuke versus Sammy, like big moments, like Sasha and Bailey.
Play moments that are kind of like retrospectives of people who are much larger, like, oh, this is Bray Wyatt before, or this is.
Well, that's
Roman
where the
Reigns.
Wyatt family first started.
Yeah, you could show, Roman Reigns in the Performance Center.
You could, but my problem with that then is that you're turning NXT, which is supposed to be its own brand, and you're highlighting nobody who's on there.
Fair.
I guess you could do like a best of Finn Balor stuff.
Yeah.
Best of Gargano type stuff. Like if you wanted to replay some Gargano Ciampa stuff to really make that seem like it's relevant again, because that's definitely where they're going with it.
Well, if they're going to show stuff in the past, maybe go way back rather than go like a little bit back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The problem is you can't do that, because if you do that, then you have no one who's on NXT there. You only show stuff from people who are not on the show anymore, and it undermines the purpose of the show. Maybe
do an impromptu kind of thing with Triple H talking about NXT and its history. Like a round table of people.
Right. If you do that, you undermine NXT.
Fair.
I don't understand like the conflict and concept here. Because NXT is so new, you're trying to build these people as stars.
Yeah.
So if you go back and say, hey, let's talk about NXT before you guys ever saw it, you're now going to have a panel of people who are not on the show anymore. And now you're going to be talking about people who are on Raw and SmackDown. Like, to me, that undermines the purpose of going national.
Well, really, there's not much you can do based on what they're saying they're going to do then.
Yeah, that's why I think you go just a little bit back. All these rehash storylines that they're trying to get back to because they just don't think that Gargano and Ciampa can put on a bad match, I guess. So go back and show some of their stuff. Show their Chicago street fight. You know what I mean? Show them actually going through maybe a package of them, with the DIY, and show their breakup. Show them going up against, what was it, the Revival? When they finally lost and Ciampa turned. You know what I mean? Because then you could even show the video package of how they got to that match. Then you could show the match. And then at the turn of it, be like, and then everything really got fucking bad. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, because this Gargano Ciampa stuff feels a lot like, well, if you don't know, then you don't know. This could be a way to get people caught up.
Fair. I can go with that.
But I think that otherwise it could be a problem.
The chat is asking.
That's what we were just talking about. What about great matches where one of them is still in NXT? Potentially, that's what I was saying, like maybe Finn Balor and KO.
Mm-hmm.
You could maybe do some Balor stuff to be like, it's enough talking about that I came up here. Maybe it's time to show you the things I used to do here.
Ricochet versus Dream would be cool.
For the North American? Ricochet and Dream. Oh, yeah. Ricochet and Dream was a pretty good one.
Or have them.
Yeah, or even Ricochet versus Gargano was pretty sick.
Yeah.
For the North American. Yeah, I mean, I think you could get away with that. I think the question then comes with where are you trying to go from there? You know what I mean? Like you can always say, "Hey, go check out stuff on the network." Although I think this is a really cool time to show off what's on the network.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe rather than do any NXT, just do that. I know that's again not building in the brand, but if we're not going to do anything with the brand because of where we're at, because this is kind of a weird situation, maybe showcase the network a bit.
Yeah, I think you got to show off who's there and who's in current stuff. So I guess you could do Dream just because he's going up against Cole, right?
Yeah.
So you need to put in matches where these guys were on the come up, putting up great stuff. You could even show Dream and Aleister Black.
That'd be good
for the world title. That's probably my favorite Dream match, to be honest.
Oh, cool
then. Yeah, I think you have to highlight who's in the current storylines, especially because NXT has treated everything like, well, you better know. You better already know.
Yeah.
This would be a way to catch people up. I think the AEW could serve from this as well. Well, I guess we'll get to that right now. Because at AEW... So we talked about it last week that Jake the Snake came out and cut that fucking killer promo. You weren't here to talk about it. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was a good promo, yeah.
So crazy.
It was cool seeing... I think maybe... I'm cool seeing Jake the Snake just be in a better space and be the old Jake the Snake without any issues. So I'm excited. I like seeing him come out. I like seeing him be in wrestling again, Yeah.
Oh, and Aaron says he'd love to see any Aleister Black NXT matches, which I agree. I think that Aleister Black was much better in NXT.
Yes.
His presentation and how brutal he looked. I think you'd put on Aleister Black versus Dream and kind of build two characters who are needing that right now.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's how you do it. Maybe you bridge it that way. You start showing on NXT TV Aleister and Velveteen, and now you made Velveteen look better, and you made Aleister Black more relevant again. People are all like, oh shit, did you see that when he was a champion? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I could be into that, or even I don't want to show too much, but I was gonna say Andrade and Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre is a champion. That's actually when he lost it. So
Yeah.
Yes. So Jake the Snake being back, cutting an incredible promo, teaching everyone there that it's still possible. What do you think about him wearing the Hall of Fame ring?
I was okay with it. I think my hope and I know that in a sense it may not ever work. My hope is that maybe we can get past the bloody competition with each other and just appreciate the World Wrestling fans. Jake the Snake got to where he was through WWE. So yeah, if you're watching it and you know who Jake the Snake is, you have to acknowledge the WWE part of this. I think it's good that he wore it. I think it's cool that nobody pushed away from it or anything like that. I hope there's no repercussions for it. I think it's a good thing to have somebody do that because you can refer to each other. I think that's fine, you know. If we have people going back from AEW to WWE in time, or if people go from New Japan to WWE, it would be neat to see. I
forgot to put this on under.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be neat to see that part of their career and not just act like, oh yeah, they were this, because WWE's done it for a long time with IWGP.
Yeah,
the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions were these guys. So I don't knock it too much. I just, I think it's cool.
I think that it's one thing to acknowledge the company, it's another thing to walk around in their Hall of Fame ring. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to say this is where I got my fame, but I don't know. It just seemed a little bit. It made me wonder. I'm like, is Jake under a Legends contract? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's rocking that. Also, is he wearing it to get a little heat from that audience? Because that could work too. If the AEW audience has been like, fuck WWE and everything they do. If he comes out being like, that's my bread and fucking butter. All right, you might get some booze on there.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it still. I feel a little bit back and forth. I feel like it makes sense, but I also feel like, I don't know, it feels a little bit... I don't see WWE putting someone else's logo on their show. Aaron's asking, is AEW airing an empty arena? And you can take that.
Yes, evidently they will be doing empty arena matches from Jacksonville starting this week.
Where at? Is it going to be in the football stadium?
Dave's Place is the venue they have, but it'll probably be an associated property with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I was thinking, because I was even thinking,
cool as hell.
Yeah, I mean, those stadiums are huge.
It would be hilarious. I would love to see it.
Well, I'm not saying putting it in the middle of the field, but I'm saying they have like training portions and medical areas, and I have a feeling they probably have like a big conference room that you could probably put a ring in that would look semi-normal.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You know what I mean? Like that'd be kind of cool because it'd also be a different look than we've ever seen. Yeah. Because I think that if you put it in the middle of the field, you run the risk of looking too fucking silly.
Put it in like the owner's box, so then you can see the field behind them.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
And then when like Ray Phoenix, when he like falls off the top rope when he's trying to do something clever but he messes up, or like Christopher Daniels messes up, he just smashes through the window and just that'd be cool. You guys watch them tumble.
Oh no, he's
that's why we said high risk.
The fallen angel, Chris Daniels.
We said high risk. We didn't know how high of a risk. So I guess they're going to be moving forward in Jacksonville strictly. Mm-hmm. They've already canceled I think all their shows, but they did officially announce that Boston was canceled, and they're going to be doing what they can from there. I'm really curious to see what they do with it, given what WWE's doing with it. Mm-hmm. I wonder what their platform's going to look like. And we can get to that when we get to that. What'd you think of AEW that looked normal?
This week, I thought it was pretty cool. Now, I watched the show yesterday. So, some of the things that Paige and Jericho did, there's a beer drinking spot, was a bit weird watching it this week. Like, I wouldn't do that. But no, I was cool with it. I liked it.
What did you think of Jake showing up with Lance Archer?
I think it was cool. I think it was weird initially because there was a crowd reaction to it, but it came after the wrestlers in the ring reacted to them walking through the crowd way off to the side.
And then they sat down.
They should have had Jake come out with a mic. It's okay for somebody to come out with a mic, and then the interruption makes sense. When they're just walking out, you'll get a little bit of groundswell, but I don't imagine the wrestlers will be immediately looking at it.
and nobody knows who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we don't know you, man.
Mhm.
So I felt like it was really anticlimactic. I felt like it was a little bit of a wet fart. Not to say I don't enjoy a good wet fart from time to time, because Lord knows I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy
know you do.
a wet, sopping wet fart as
White
much as the
fart.
next guy.
We
You
have
know?
Instagram video of this.
Yeah. Any kind of splashy fart, I'm usually on board with. This one, however, felt like someone didn't want that.
Yeah.
Go figure. But I felt like it made no impact just because they did quietly walk out and then sit down and then watch and then quietly walk away. And I was like, what the fuck was that? I think you have Jake come out with a mic without Lance Archer and say, yeah, fuck you, dude, and talk all this shit to Cody and say, and you know what? I know how I'm going to get that slice of pie. And all of a sudden, boom from behind, Lance Archer just lays out Cody, beats the shit out of him. Who's in the ring with him? Ortiz. Have Ortiz and Santana
No.
walk away.
I'm bailing.
Like, I'm not a part of this. Yeah, have them look a little nervous or scared at whoever the fuck that is. And then have the announcers be like, oh my God, is that? Oh my God, it's Lance Archer. Or Hoyt, or whatever you want to call your fucking self. We don't even know. But
Archer.
I think at that point, you have an impact and you have someone who go, oh shit, Jake has brought in somebody who's a threat. Where now it's all like, oh no, Jake brought a drinking buddy?
Yeah.
Like they're just watching wrestling together?
Better
I
not.
killed like
brought
a bug. I want to make sure it didn't land in
He
here.
better not have brought a drinking buddy.
I know.
Did you?
I don't think I did. It's hard to tell. It's dark. Looks clear. Looks clear.
But the match, the other thing is, it was a weird moment of decent match. Ortiz did really good. I liked Cody and Ortiz together. They worked really well.
I can't stand the way Ortiz sells, man. I just can't do it. He just comes off as such a fucking cartoon.
I wasn't upset with it.
He always upsets me.
I mean, it was silly, which is cool, but it was good.
I can't handle his shit. But Cody always comes off really good and made for some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate Arnie's gimmick more and more every time he comes out.
Arn?
When he has the playbook.
Yeah. He's coming off stupid.
Mm.
Let's see.
He can just walk around and be like hitting stuff and be passionate. Like
Yeah.
when he like does the like covers himself and he just plays on it. Like, what are your plays? Hit the guy and pin him. Hit the
Yeah.
guy, pin him.
Hit him. Hit him. Make him do that weird thing where he like wobbles for a bit and then falls over.
You just kicked his leg. Notice his
That's-
leg's fucked up because you just kicked it. Good.
Yeah, kick it again. Kick him in the butt. What'd you think about this whole fucking Cody and the Jacksons and them holding like the murder of Nick Jackson? Is that what they did?
Oh, the injury?
Yeah, where he was like underneath what is otherwise an incredibly light door. It's one of those rolly ones that comes down really slow, and he's underneath it like he's dying.
It was a bit silly. Yeah, it was a bit silly. It's just like, okay. And then later, of course, comes out, so whatever.
Did he come back? I thought he didn't. I thought the other Jackson came back.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he gives Hangman Page the finger, and then Jericho whaps them both in the head. So I was okay with that bit.
Yeah.
Aaron says there's no reason why they can't show some all-in matches. Well, I guess so. I mean, were there any other highlights of this show specifically that you wanted to make sure you talked about? Jurassic Express. I liked when Luchasaurus kicked Marco Stunt in the face on accident, so it was like a legit kick to the mouth. He was trying to get in the ring. He puts his leg up and just like, oof, and you just see him like, oh.
Now, I liked Luchasaurus. I mean, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy looked fantastic. MJF, Butcher Blade, they did great. Marco Stunt's the weird one there, so I was okay with it.
Yeah, if he wasn't there, it probably would have been great all around.
Yeah, Big Swole came out and interrupted Britt Baker, which is cool as hell. I like them going behind Big Swole and backing Big Swole up a bit because Big Swole's awesome.
Yeah, I don't like how much they do of like assumed knowledge. They're making jokes about their boyfriends that is not otherwise common knowledge. It's like diehard fan knowledge.
Yeah.
I could do a little bit
Yeah.
without that. Also, I don't see a reason to bring that up. I think if you're trying to push a women's division, their boyfriends shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Just felt a little
Yeah.
meaning. Let's see, Janela, Private Party, Death Triangle.
That was a weird match. It was
Yeah.
there was a lot of moments in that match where I really noticed how green Private Party was.
Yeah.
Because there's like a couple like over the top rope, and they did several over the tops into the other group, into the other team, and in doing that, they weren't making contact even. Like it was very much like, I don't know. I know you're not really gonna hit him, but I don't know how the fuck you would hit him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one. Or let's see, Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes versus Guevara and Jericho. I thought it was weird they were still playing up the mystery partner bit, even though by that point Dustin said he was going to come out.
yeah.
And they're still like, who's it gonna be? And like the guy who said he was gonna be there.
Yeah. And
Then he showed up.
it was okay.
And then it turned into that big brawl too, which I think they're ending too many of their shows with these big brawls.
Yeah, they're getting there.
I think it's to
Rapidly.
the point now where I think the audience is starting to get towards the end of the night and looking at their watch like, who's coming out?
Yeah.
Someone's supposed to come out here and do something.
Yeah, they're getting very predictable on your end. They want the cheap pop, not the end. Which
It's feeling very NWO.
Matt Hardy. Where did we end with him? The last.
Yeah, what did they do with him on this one? Did they even show a package with him?
nope, not yet.
Really?
They showed his name on one of the episodes. That was the
Next
right?
week they're gonna announce the Exalted one will be there tomorrow.
Yeah, but they showed his name up on the screen on like last week's, not the one we're talking about the week before. And he didn't show up here, so I don't know if they showed his name again. I don't know if they showed a little video of him. I'm trying to look through this thing. Because, yeah, I felt like he was completely just not talked about in this one. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. I was expecting them to do something with it.
Yeah, I thought I missed it.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything.
Huh.
But Matt Hardy did tweet today. What was it? What did he say? He just did a tweet like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, and then WWE responded back.
Damascus.
Damascus. Right. I'm sorry.
I guess I'll look it up.
Thank you.
I guess I'll halt the show to look it up.
Oh man. Okay. Forget
The truth
it.
will be heard is what he tweeted like just 2 hours ago, and it was about a half hour delayed before WWE tweeted the same thing. I think that's peculiar. I think it's interesting, and I think it's really peculiar for a guy who just announced he's going to be on AEW. Do you think he's going to be the Exalted One?
I think it's so played up now. I kind of don't want him to be.
I know.
I don't know who else it would be, but I kind of want him to do something else.
I kind of don't care who it's going to be because I really hope Dark Order just disappears in about 2 months.
Oh.
I think that nothing they're doing is working.
I've liked their promos and their videos. I kind of feel like this is like a wet fart. Yeah.
I think Christopher Daniels did a shitty version of the same promo too. That video was here, right? On this week's?
Yeah, I don't like Christopher
was
Daniels like fight on this. I don't like Christopher Daniels of late is just like, okay, I'm cool. You can go away, buddy.
Yeah, he did that whole video package about Dark Order, and I was like, this is really stupid. Someone even posted, the reason I was watching that one, because I wasn't seeing the whole thing live or anything, someone posted like, this is gold, this is some of the best TV ever, and so I started watching it. It was like a 3-minute promo, and I got about a minute in before I was like, I can't watch more of this. It was awful. What do you think AEW does moving forward with their empty arena matches? Do you think they're gonna take a page out of WWE's book and do extra promos, which AEW has not been doing much for promos? Maybe
that's something they should try and do, is do more video packages, more promos, try and explain these people more now that we have a chance to do that.
Yeah,
it seems weird to do it so late in, but yeah, I kind of think you might need to.
Aaron says there's no reason not to do some all-in matches. I would agree with that, except I don't know what all-in matches you would do that would feel totally relevant.
And they don't have the rights to the stuff.
That's true. They also don't own that. That's Ring of Honor's property, so that could be a problem. Yeah, because I was thinking you could maybe show Cody and Nick Aldis and start building towards my fantasy booking, but. Yeah, if they don't have the rights to any of that, they really can't talk about it or show it.
Yeah.
Do you think they show matches from some of their other pay-per-views? Do you think they show... I don't think they can. I think the ones that have done the best had the most blood. I don't think they can do that on TNT like that.
Yeah, no. It's
like, I don't think there's content difficult. They could replay.
It's kind of difficult. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'd like to see that Kenny Pac match again, but Kenny and Pac's matches are amazing, but it's not.
Kenny and Pac, yeah, people like those. I wasn't super into them, but I'd probably rather watch that than Pac and Orange Cassidy. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, he said he thought they were owned by Cody. Actually, Ring of Honor put on All In. So, yeah, the whole concept that it was all an indie thing, and they talked about how they put on that whole show, it turned out that was actually all a lie. They just were promoting it that way. Ring of Honor put on almost the entirety of that show with their budget, their ring, their rights, and everything. So, like, Cody and Young Bucks kind of, like, played everyone on that one, and it worked out really well for them. So, Like, if it weren't for them lying about all that stuff, they may have never became
Well,
EVPs.
but Ring of Honor never got a show that stadium that large before them promoting it like that and putting that challenge out there.
Correct. That's also why they booked Madison Square Garden, because it was all Ring of Honor owned. And then
they brought New Japan in and helped out a lot.
And then the Young Bucks and Cody said, we're jumping ship. So they kind of like made their point and then fucked them over. It was weird. But I don't know. I wasn't really a part of that.
Ring of Honor's getting better now, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a bunch with Marty. I'm happy about that. Some Marty Scroll action.
Because there's a lot of things going on inside of that people were talking about. So I could see leaving, like, take my ball and go.
Yeah, I've also, I guess, sounds like a win-win. It launched a second company. It wasn't quite a win-win. It did launch a second company, but it almost put Ring of Honor out of business entirely, because they put all of their support and their promotion into the Elite, as they called themselves, and then the Elite abruptly left while still in the middle of a big program that was leading up to a huge...
left.
What?
Elite and you left.
Elite what?
Elite and you left.
Oh, yeah. To the left, to your left. Yeah, so they were abruptly walked out of what was supposed to be their largest show yet, which was they had a Madison Square Garden show coming up, and then they just walked away, and it caused a lot of issues, and they lost a ton of money, and they almost went out of business, and that's why Marty Scroll is like their head booker now. But so it wasn't quite a win-win, and I think there's a lot of bad blood there, which is why I think that Marty Scroll being in charge of what he is the only hope they have for Ring of Honor and All Elite to have a working relationship at all. And they're starting to, right? Because they had, what was it? It wasn't, who's that dude they brought over as a bounty hunter, but it turns out he lost.
Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb. That was played out poorly, but he's from Ring of Honor, isn't he?
He's from New Japan.
I thought he was a tag team champion in Ring of Honor.
At one point, yes.
With a guy like Dan Mathis.
In the past.
I thought they were current champs. I guess not. Let's see. I don't know how AEW puts on a show the same way. If you have a ton of matches with an empty arena, I think if you're not really careful, they can look really silly. And I think even the ones that WWE put on had an air of silliness about them.
Well, he signed a Ring of Honor and New Japan still, as well as All Elite. To use all three.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what they do with an empty arena. Like I said, they seem really cautious on giving very many people the mic. We talked about that the first month. We only heard from 2 wrestlers over and over again. We didn't even see MJF for the first month.
Yeah.
So the idea that they have such limited mic time to give out anyways, just in general, because they don't seem to trust their talent with it, because probably they're learning and stuff. Now that you're probably going to have to lean on those promos, what's going to happen? Are you only going to be pushing 2 matches?
That's fair. And
what kind of matches can you even replay? You start playing all dark? Because they got all the AEW dark footage.
It'll be neat to see. I'm curious, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do.
Yeah.
This fucking bug, man.
I've seen no bug this entire time.
There's gnats from the gliders, probably.
What?
There's a couple gnats flying around.
I'm not a fan. I don't like gnat.
No, on the SmackDown?
Yeah, unless there's something else you want to talk about AEW. I'm really curious to see what they do. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've got them displayed over here because as wrestling fans, it's really cool that our stuff gets to keep going in a way. Everything else is coming to a halt. No one's filming. No one's doing anything. There's no shows to watch, no sports to be heard of, and yet we're privileged that
people are trying to make things work.
Yeah, that our passion is not alone. We're not the only ones who love it and want to see stuff keep going. Like, the people involved are doing everything they can to figure out, how do we give a product still? How do we put something out there? How do we keep people invested in some way? How it's going to play out is going to be fascinating. And I hope this thing doesn't go on long, but the longer it goes on, the longer you have this catalog of, remember that crazy zombie period where there was just no fans involved in wrestling? Like, How weird is that? It's insane. We literally are in a time where there are no fans involved in wrestling. And even the old school guys, especially the old school guys, they talk about that wrestling is a business of reacting to the fans. You get them to react this way and you behave this way around them. All of everything we know about wrestling and everything we've heard about people learning and teaching and training is listening to the fans, getting the fans there, putting fans in seats, connecting with the fans. What do you do when there's just not fans there?
It's a difficult thing to consider. Even
when attendance is down, the fans are there.
Yeah.
So now,
what do you do?
What do you do? And I think that brings us to SmackDown with, let's see, people complain instead of being grateful, which I agree. They're complaining about these shows. I mean, I also get it. There's a weird look for it right now, right? Like, everyone's being told, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. And now it's like, are the wrestlers being put in danger or are they doing this safely? I don't know. I'm not a part of that conversation. I would hope that they're doing things as safe as they can. Let's see. Not only does AEW not have a network to pull from, they also don't have from access to us to rewatch, right? So once we get a pay-per-view, it's only there for a week.
Yeah.
So it's not like they could even hint at go back and watch Double or Nothing or check out this one match from Double or Nothing and then go buy it and watch it. You can't. It's just not there. You know what I mean? So it's not like, well, we're WWE. We're like, hey, check out this match from the Rumble. If you want to see the rest of Rumble, I mean, you can go onto the network, I suppose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's still a mechanism to get people to get into the network.
You got to watch, like, all of it.
Yeah, but with AEW, it's like if they replay any matches from pay-per-views, you're like, oh my God, what happened after that? Or what was before that? How do I go back and watch that? They go, yeah, that's not, hold on, that's not an option. No, we didn't mean to want you to watch it, because you can't. You just can't now. Forget it. Forget it, Smalls. It's gone. The ball is gone.
We don't do this anymore.
Yeah. You got what you got, all right, and now shut up about the whole other parts of it. So, yeah, I think that's a little... But then what does it look like? Well, I guess this is what it looks like. Triple H opening the show, talking about the Performance Center and leading into it. I thought that was a really cool couple of minutes. Mm-hmm. It was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes he got to say, and then kind of goes over and there's a ball on the roof.
Yeah, there is now.
Yeah, you goddamn kids! Get out of here, kids! I wonder if you could. I bet you picked it up because it was behind us. This is important. This is important information. This is what makes the show good. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks.
Or kids hit balls on the roofs.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, right.
What'd you think of Triple H's opening? I liked it.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really important and I will say important. I think it was like a cool way to kind of make this acknowledge this is weird and then kind of go into it. In a lot of places that have had to address this, when you're addressing it in kind of a light way, you're addressing it. It's hard to ignore this. So I've had the best success in being like, yeah, this is really weird. Thanks. Thanks for coming and letting us work with you. This is weird as hell. Oh, and it makes you feel better, yeah.
I mean, has it been kind of vacant there too? I thought you guys were going to get rushed. People being panicked they can't go.
No, we cut staff.
Yeah, so it was just getting to the point. So then people were kind of quietly walking in and
yeah, this is weird as hell. Yeah. I know.
Let's see. As long as the empty arena shows are about burying Michael Cole, then I hope it lasts forever. That and Byron Saxton. We got to watch them literally beat the shit out of Byron Saxton.
And he got a nut shot, not kicked in the stomach. He got kicked in the balls.
But I mean, come on. How do you miss those?
It was amazing.
That dude's...
Yeah, I know. Got a hog.
He's packing a 6-pack, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
it's harder to kick him in the stomach.
Half dozen eggs down there, not two.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do.
Hey.
Are you good?
What's happening?
Are you good, man? Did somebody just get rejected? Was someone not on the list? What the fuck happened down there?
Martinelli's gold medal.
Jesus.
Great.
Let's see. We can't have shows in Oklahoma till at least April 30th. That's from Stackhouse.
Stackhouse?
What? Thanks for coming through, Stackhouse. How do you guys know about his dick? Dude, please. You don't? Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, everyone knows about Byron's dick. Right?
It's like Batista's dick, but bigger.
It's like Batista's dick.
Yeah.
Stackhouse says they can't have shows until at least April 30th, so that's crazy too. So a lot of shows have been, they're starting to leak into May. the people who are shutting down stuff are starting to leak into May. Joaquin Kleenex. I like that Silent Bob one. Send him our Vince. Yeah, I need ice. Cheers, guys. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys thinking? What do you guys think of SmackDown and the empty show? What do you guys think AEW is going to do with an empty arena? I liked that they opened up with Sasha and Bayley, and I liked that they were pandering to the crowd.
Yes.
I thought that was so good because you can't ignore it. And I know that some people were putting out... Oh, God. Some people were putting out like how they didn't like that. They're like, this looks stupid. And why would they do that when no one's there? Because they're making fun of it.
Yeah.
Because they're drawing attention to it.
Because it's the one time they're not getting booze. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
This is great. Finally a crowd that likes us.
Yeah, right?
Finally a crowd that gets us. This is, fantastic.
Yeah, this is amazing. I like that Sasha went over there and called Triple H Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that Triple H was back to his DX ways of picking on Michael Cole. Let's see if people are allowed out. Let's see. I don't think AEW will be able to pull it off as well as WWE has.
You agree?
I agree, but I think that they might be able to do something entirely different, which I'd be really excited to see. But what do you do? And I guess that was the first question. Oh my God, I'm almost out already.
Whose fault is that?
It's St. Patrick's Day. What am I supposed to do? Not drink an entire bottle of Jameson? No. My ass.
Well, you started that today?
Well, shut up, man.
Damn.
I actually started it yesterday's quarantine. I had it with breakfast and the rest of the day. Let's see. I heard that people in San Francisco are under strict quarantine. Yeah, yes. I was reading stuff like that too. So I don't think the AEW might be able to do it as good, but I want to see what they do because I guess the big question when even SmackDown was coming on was, what the hell do you do? Mm-hmm. So AEW, right? I just had a stroke, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm back now. That was crazy.
What's
going
on there? Yeah. What is AEW gonna do?
But where do they come from? Where's their history? How did they get where they are? What brought them to the
Maybe
dance?
do something totally new. It'd be cool if they did like we're gonna do Lucha Underground new, better for these 3 weeks.
Right? But that's what we first said, remember? Because where do they come from? They come from being the elite.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-taped videos all day long. They might be able to just really start showing their production chops. What brought us into Double or Nothing? Those fucking video packages with Dustin and Cody. We know they're capable. And that's what I think was the biggest letdown with AEW National TV, was they were trying to do more regular wrestling when I thought we were getting a hybrid of wrestling and Lucha Underground, which was dramatic filming. I thought we were going to bring the being the elite to a large scale with like a real arena. I thought this is going to be cool. We're going to see wrestling like we've never seen it before. Well, maybe they'll be forced into doing that now. And they're capable.
I'd love it.
It'd be pretty cool. Let's see. They're really doing the absolute best they can, but now that they have a full week to make the show without a live audience, they should be airing a lot of stuff out of the ring. But the promos felt like the 80s promos where Hogan and Warrior are yelling in an empty room. Kinda. Are you talking about Raw or SmackDown or both? I felt like when Bray and Cena were talking, it was almost like watching a play. It was actually just so dramatic. And I thought it was done so well. And I thought the thing that a big takeaway between them and Edge is like, oh, sometimes the audience ruins promos. You know what I mean?
Theatrics.
Yeah.
Theatrical scene. Yeah. So, but I get the idea of holy shit. This is an event.
Let's get it.
Just like SmackDown, Raw, and all of wrestling, this is altered. But what we're doing is we're adding gastrointestinal stress to the event.
Yeah, that's not part of Corona, so I'm safer now than I was before.
Then what explains what the fuck is happening?
This is a normal part of the show, people.
Yeah. This is the transition. This is how we transition into the next topic.
After this, he waddles aggressively to a bathroom and fucks it up.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I tried not to have even carbonation on this, but sometimes it's just the nerves.
It was weird.
Is that what
it was the nerves of the audience.
Yeah, it was weird having you help me out because I was like, wow, you're not burping or wheezing randomly or nothing. You're
No, yeah, no. It's just because there's no camera.
Yeah.
Saving it.
I save it for the show.
I developed COPD.
Yeah, I can move a couch. I can't sit down and have a drink. Let's see. Yeah, that was a deep burp. That came from the bowels. Let's see. Let's see. I think that SmackDown was done really well with Triple H and Michael Cole having a ton of chemistry. I really liked the wrestling that was in there.
You haven't done your job well for 25 years.
Like, 30 years, yeah. So yeah, he's all like, "This, I'm not good at this part. I'm gonna leave it to you." And he goes, "But most people don't think you're good at it either, and you've been doing it for 30 years."
So that multiple times, it's just like, yeah, you just don't do it well. I love Triple H with personality. Being silly is maybe the best Triple H.
Yeah.
So, and not being like DX where he's trying to be cool, because DX later was like cool dad at a sleepover.
Yeah.
This is great. I want to see him do this, and I was a little bit upset with that Raw didn't have Triple H on it. Because I know that, yeah, it might be a one-off, but it was great.
I thought it was really good. It made me numb as Corey Graves. I thought it was really well done. Like, the whole show I thought was done really well. I mean, and this was like Michael Cole, the show. You know what I mean? How do you tie this all together? How do you get this all to happen with just 40 people? Michael Cole does commentary. Michael Cole does play-by-play. Then Michael Cole does an interview. Then Michael Cole introduces the Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? Like, Michael Cole was heavy on this show, really showing what he's there for and what he's capable of. I think that they did a really good job with this one. I think that I would even say SmackDown was better than Raw.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Raw was kind of hard to watch because it didn't feel like magical, and then it felt like the Royal Rumble was a long ass match in the middle of it, which we'll talk about why.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Now,
I like that Michael Cole gets his suits from the same place Tony Schiavone gets his suits.
Yeah, what the fuck was that thing? Michael Cole, Christ. But I thought the match was also really good with Alexa Bliss and Sasha and Bayley and Nikki Cross. They agree SmackDown's better than Raw. I do think it was really cool. The people who leaked out the satellite feed that you could see in between the match during commercials, they switched the tag ropes to a different corner. They started talking about the match. Triple H chimed in with something. I didn't hear what it was, but like they stopped wrestling and then they waited, and then when it came back, they locked back up and started doing stuff. You know, you got 2 seconds or whatever, and then they started going again, and it's like it's really neat to see that side of it, just because it might be kind of goofy if they were still wrestling.
Yeah,
right? But it was really cool. I thought Roman Reigns did great on the mic in that scenario.
Yeah, I thought, and he also like came out. This is weird.
Yeah,
which I liked.
Yeah, I liked that they were acknowledging it, not pretending it wasn't a thing. I think that if you do too much of not acknowledging it, you look stupid. But if you do too much acknowledging of it, you can come off really dumb too. So yeah. I think they did. I think they really towed that line. I think they did a good job. What do you think about them airing an entire match in Elimination Chamber?
I liked that because I didn't see that Elimination Chamber match. I was okay, and that was why I was like, I'm okay with doing this generally because I could see me being like a kid not having the network or not having pay-per-view and being like, oh, I get to watch the pay-per-view. Great.
Yeah, I remember specifically as a kid when Goldberg, I believe it was when he beat Hogan, it wasn't aired because they went over their time on the pay-per-view. And they've been promoting this match, promoting the match. And then, or was it Diamond Dallas Page? I remember it being a main event title shot that got cut. And then the next night on Nitro, they re-aired the match. I remember being like, this is incredible! Like, how good is this? I get to watch a thing from the pay-per-view.
And the people who
spent $50 were fucking pissed.
God!
Yeah. Damn it! And I felt like this was a very similar thing where, well, for one, that Elimination Chamber match I thought was the best match of that night. But I thought it was a really good chance to show that. The only thing I thought was weird about it is it was a match that didn't really move a storyline.
Yeah.
So it made more sense on Raw when they put together the Rumble because that's how we got to Brock and McIntyre. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Then
you followed up with the Drew and Brock video package. Makes sense. You're saying, how do we get here and where are we going? This match felt like it was in a bubble. It was just like, and Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. I'm glad they didn't show the women's chamber match. That match was awful. Did you watch it at all? No. Don't. I watched it on playback, so I wasn't watching it live, and I was just fast forwarding. Because there was like half of the match literally Shayna just standing in the ring.
Yeah, I heard it was people being fed to Shayna.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, which I expected, so I was like,
Yeah,
I know she's going to win. Yeah.
But it was worse than that. It was worse than just people being fed like one at a time. It was one at a time and then a 5-minute wait. So they would get knocked out in 10, 15 seconds, and then now she's walking around for literally 5 minutes while the crowd is just like doesn't know what to do. You can only boo for so long.
That
and after
sucks.
a while, you just wait. Yeah, it was awful.
Do I go take a piss or do I wait because it might happen again?
Yeah. I thought the backstage stuff on SmackDown was good with Kayla, and then you had Daniel Bryan and Sammy and Shinsuke. Triple H was hysterical where they asked if the match could happen between Drew and Cesaro. And Triple H goes, with a promo like Shinsuke just cut, of course we can make that happen. Shinsuke didn't say a word. Hardy versus Corbin I liked. It was really interesting too because here were these guys put in a position where now they gotta have a match in an empty arena.
Corbin's so brutal, his promo.
Oh yeah, when he was digging at Jeff. Oh.
Jeff was just rolling with it.
He's all sitting there smirking like, okay, all right, here we are.
Drunk jokes, got it, cool.
Yeah. But it's that fine line, right? How much do you not acknowledge and look stupid for pretending something never happened? And how much do you lean into and just say, yeah, we're going to turn part of it into a storyline? How much of it is bad taste versus just trying to be real?
I mean, Jeff Hardy in his own career has been on the other side of that so far with like, what was it? Slammiversary? Bound for Glory?
With Sting?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So I think they did a good job with it. I thought those matches were actually surprisingly good. And then I thought at the end when we had Cena and Wyatt, I thought this is what great promos can look like when the crowd doesn't try to get involved. Here we have dramatic pauses. We have them kind of slowly leading into the next thing. You don't have a crowd chanting what or booing or saying Cena sucks.
Yeah. Or
any of the things or chanting yowie wowie. When you can just focus and listen to what they're saying and the emotion they're putting out there, man, this was like a masterclass of acting, I thought.
It was very good. I was a big fan of it.
This is the kind of stuff I wanted to see from them to begin with, so I was really happy that that's where we ended up. And then afterwards, I watched it, it's like, God, thank God there wasn't an audience. They could have really ruined that. So, I don't know, it made me really very excited for Bray and Cena, and I like that Cena brought up the thing too, you know, in an industry where we're all about the fans and the audience, and we're all about putting butts in seats. It's fucking weird to be out here with no one in these seats.
Yeah,
everyone's
no butts in these seats.
Yeah.
Also, I heard they did 205 Live after, and
they did.
He sat and watched.
He sat in the tech area.
Yeah.
To see how they put on a show live.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. They showed a little video of him watching and stuff. David Marquez, he owned IWPG? IPWG? What am I thinking of? It's not PWG. It's IPW or something.
Yeah.
He was running the production on it years and years ago, and that's when he met Cena. Cena came through there as sort of more of a developmental type thing. And he said, he commented on the video, he goes, this is exactly how all of my memories are of Cena. Looking over my shoulder as I'm producing the show. I was like, that's cool. Yeah. To know that he's been that way forever. He's always been fascinated with how does it go from there to out there? Like,
watching that or listening to that Pritchard show where they talked about Cena and stuff and like everything there. I like John Cena. Appreciate him again. Missed him. I'll say that. Yeah,
definitely exciting to have him back. And then we just watched the Ruthless Aggression episode on John Cena. Man, he's so good. And even the way he tells the story of that stuff is so good. And just watching it and seeing all the stuff they talk about, like not having a number one and all that, when Rock and Stone Cold left and Brock left.
Such a good documentary series. WWE can really do documentaries.
They did a good job. But then as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, I don't see Drew McIntyre pulling that same stuff off.
Nope.
I don't see Drew McIntyre being that. I don't see Seth being that. I kind of see Roman being that. I could see Roman being able to make that work, but I don't know if
a lot of work.
an audience. I mean, I think I see exactly what Vince was seeing when he was like, "There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is where we're going," and it just didn't work out that way. So I think you got to be really careful with how you do it. But I think it's possible.
I could see Fiend doing it, or Bray.
Yeah,
He's very young.
yeah. I don't know, but I don't think that guy is Drew. I don't think Drew is your next 10 years.
Yeah, no.
Just don't see it. But hey, prove me wrong, dude. Go out there and be it. Who the fuck am I? I'm just a drunk dude on Twitch. Dana Bryan versus Cesaro was good. What do you think about this? Okay, so I don't live in a world or in a mentality where WrestleMania doesn't happen anyway, right? So it definitely happens. And they've announced it's going to be happening in an empty arena in the PC. Sort of. So the way they worded it was a little weird, right? I think you have a lot of options here. And I think between this and between Raw, it shows us a few things. My title is spelt wrong. What did you do with my title? Our title. Twitch? It's Paddy's Day, not Paddy's Day. Oh, it's with 2 D's, not T's.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna. I can update it. It's not gonna change immediately.
Yeah, well, change it. We'll change it for the old YouTubes for sure. Which is kind of weird too, because St. Patrick, right, with the T.
Yeah, no, it's
How'd they get to Paddy with D's?
can't spell when you're drunk.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes way more sense than anything else I think would have come up. Thanks for letting us know, Kaguro Kuro. Wait, aren't you the guy who does the trading cards, or am I thinking of someone else? Someone who designs trading cards, I think, has similar. Oh, because it's Padraig, Irish Gaelic spelling. Very cool. See, we got to spend more time at the Irish Cultural Center up in Phoenix. We got to go there.
I know, but Phoenix has more of an outbreak right now, so.
We'll just go there and collect it.
What?
If we have a collection of it, it can't hurt us.
Sorry, we're idiots.
Yes.
Do you think they're leading towards Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania?
I'd like to see that. I think it'd be cool.
I think that'd be amazing.
I think it'd be a good
Right?
match.
Especially with what they're doing now. And they even had Daniel Bryan on Twitter doing a video back and forth with Drew Gulak on what training he should be doing at home. So now he's taking on Drew Gulak as his coach. So if you have a Drew Gulak coaching Daniel Bryan against a Sami Zayn liberating the others, then you could end up potentially with Daniel Bryan one-on-one against Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
This fucking bug is trying to go into my mouth. You broke it! Is it broken?
No.
Oh my god, there's part of it.
It just fell. Wait. Oh, you did break. Oh,
Yeah.
it's still intact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, that's fine. I think that'd be amazing. Intercontinental title, Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. Like,
Agree.
100%.
Fun.
I'm into that.
I think it brings a lot of weight to it.
Whoa.
Okay, start that over.
Oh, okay.
Yawn first, then talk, because
Coronavirus. Yeah. I think it brings a lot of weight to the title.
What?
You yawn, you breathe out. Yeah. Brings a lot of weight to the title. I think seeing Daniel Bryan go for it, I still care about the title. I still care about him. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I really like seeing Sami Zayn with it. I do think it'd be really cool to have Sami Zayn defend it against Daniel Bryan. Actually, like, win.
Yeah.
What'd you think about Raw? I thought SmackDown was better, like you said, but I think the reason I thought it was better was, well, I guess there's a couple reasons. The Royal Rumble match was incredibly long.
yes.
And I've already seen it, I think, 3 times. And that's on me. That's not on them.
That was one of the things. If it were, this is the match that I watch a lot. What I love about the network is I watch Royal Rumbles a lot.
Yeah.
They're my favorite match to watch. Like when I'm cleaning, I just put them on, and be like, Stone Cold is beating Mr. McMahon.
Any Rumble is perfect to have on in the house if you're not sure what to have on in the house.
Even when it's a shitty Rumble, it's like,
yeah,
build them up.
Like
cool.
the year that Rock won, horrible Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
trash.
But
I've watched it 1,000 times probably.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that it's not their fault. It's my fault. I watched it like 3 times. So when it came back on, I was like, I gotta watch this again. Well, it was for the other 2 million people watching who did not see it. Let's see. If I was Akira, I don't know what other name I use. Oh, about maybe the card thing. I think I'm thinking of somebody else. I think there's someone on Instagram that I follow who does trading card designs. That's all. Very similar name. Maybe it's just Cage with a K.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kage.
I don't know. I'm almost done with that whole bottle, and I'm starting to confuse things. Things are blurring. What do you think, Kuro, about WrestleMania being in the Performance Center? I think that them only having only one match, right? On Raw, they had Andrade and Rey Mysterio.
It had so many segments, and it was so much longer. It just felt long. It drug.
It felt
really drug.
And they only had one match.
Mm-hmm.
They had one match, and they had a fight with Undertaker in the club.
A 90-minute wrestling match from another pay-per-view doesn't count.
I know, that's what I mean. Because the idea is, what is it going to look like to have a Mania without an audience? Well, if you've only got one match on the 3-hour show, and you had you had 3 matches on the other one, right? Because you had Drew Gulak, or you had Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. You had the women tag.
Yep.
And you had Jeff Hardy and Baron Corbin.
Yep.
So you had 3 matches on the 2-hour show, and 1 match on the 3-hour show. And you put an hour and a half Rumble in the middle.
This feels like when... Sorry.
As long as we keep getting confirmed teases of American Badass Taker, I'm good. I was actually kind of excited about that too. When he came out, when Undertaker's dong came out, and we heard it.
His dong came out?
Yeah, when his dong.
His dong did not come out.
Undertaker's dong.
That's what hits the gong. His dong. He's just like, you hear, if you listen closely, there's a zip as he gets it out, and then, and then, let me get back in. And then he runs out.
Yeah. And then he came running out with no shirt on, and I was like, that's a bit different. And he like ran to the ring. I was all like, oh shit, this is way different.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, we might be getting American Badass. The other thing I think we might be getting out of this segment,
or meth taker.
Just a methamphetamines taker.
Yeah. Taker on drugs.
Yeah. But I think that the other thing is that with AJ leaning in to the calling him Mark and talking about Michelle and calling him old, like he's leaning in on it. A lot of people were unsure of that. They were saying like, isn't it a bad deal to be saying someone's old and shitty, because it's a lose-lose, because you either lose to an old and shitty guy, or you beat up an old man who's shitty. So it's like lose-lose. If you win, it looks like you didn't do anything impressive, and if you lose, it looks like you're worse than you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's being the mentality behind it. I don't think there's always absolutes like that, but it's always something that I take note of, or I go, oh shit, they're going that route.
He'll lose, and it'll be a face turn right at the very end. He shakes AJ's hand.
Could be, or he dongs him. But I think it's possible for a heel to talk that kind of shit and have it not come off as believable.
Yeah.
I think that it's harder for a face to say that to a heel and get away with it. I think it's easier for a heel to say, good luck, old man, you dumb fuck. Because they've been saying that their opponents are stupid and weak all the time, So I think that's easier with a heel AJ. But I also think that the way that he held onto that contract, the way that he goaded him into signing the contract, the way Undertaker didn't look at the contract, and the way AJ made some sort of comment about, oh, you'll get what's coming to you. I have a feeling it's going to turn out to be a retirement match. I think Undertaker will win, but I think the idea is going to be that Undertaker has to put his career on the line, and he signed the contract already.
Okay. I'll pull it.
Let's see. Considering AJ's promo last week, he said, you're no longer badass enough to be in the spotlight in these matches. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that verbiage. They called him, he said, you're not a badass. And so he comes out as American Badass and says, I'm as badass gets. And then he choked the shit out of the OC. He beat the snot out of him. That was cool. And he looked fucking intense. And he looked good. Dude, his arms looked huge. Undertaker. I was like, fuck, man.
Eating them Wheaties.
Yeah, at first he comes out and you're like, man, he looks a little bit old. And then as he's standing there and you're just looking at him, you're like, yeah, I'm still scared of him. I'm still legit afraid of that guy.
I have to remember, he's 6'10".
Yeah. He's a big motherfucker who's still jacked. Yeah, the OC, when they didn't want to go out there, AJ's like, hey, go take him the contract. And he's like, nah, man.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm not good. He's like, what? Like,
you're one of the fake brothers of destruction, Gallows.
Yeah. And then Carl Anderson was it the baddest guy in the room?
Yeah.
Let's see, not to mention regular Taker avoids purposeful conflict as well as this Taker was just like, I'm going to murder you both. That's true. The other Undertaker does a whole lot of like, I'm going to get you and I'm going to cut your throat, and doesn't do a whole lot of physicality, does a lot more psychological stuff. This was, I'm just here to be in a fucking fight.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fight. So I do think we're getting to American Badass, which I think is cool. Because I think that was Undertaker's favorite. And maybe you get away with it that way too. Maybe the American Badass comes out, puts himself on the line, but I don't see him losing.
Is it because with Triple H now, at every WrestleMania, somebody has to take a motorcycle out?
How are you going to get a motorcycle in the Performance Center?
They'll make it work.
You can have a Becky truck.
How's it going to get into the Performance Center? But that brings us to the Becky segment. Do you think that semi-truck was meant to be Becky Lynch's WrestleMania entrance? I think she was supposed to drive that out on the stage. It was too well done and too nicely put together, and it looked too nice for that to be all like, yeah, let's have you drive up to the PC with that. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of like what Becky is she gonna come out as as biker or as a trucker Becky?
Trucker Becky, I'll truck with you, Becky.
Just hops down.
There it is. You fuck.
It's on your pants now.
Yeah, it is.
I see it.
Give me a napkin.
It's behind you.
Oh my god.
It's right there.
Woo!
Hops
Well
out
done. We've done it.
Look, one of those like
You give it to me.
windbreaker vests.
You show Taker driving in from outside like you did Becky. Yeah, I mean, you just show him pulling up to the front. Just.
It wouldn't sound like that.
That's how motorcycles sound.
They don't sound like
Yeah,
farts.
Right?
You see, that's everyone's entrance is them parking.
Yeah, they're all parking outside and then they walk into the ring.
Johnny Gargano just pulling up in a Civic.
Yeah.
Damn it! Galloway double parked.
Couple dudes rolling up in a Jeep together. Like opposite tag teams.
So
Like the Broserweights and Undisputed pulling up in one Jeep.
Corbin
Yelling at each other about where they pulled over. I told you not to go to that fucking truck stop.
Pete Dunne, why are you driving? Because I'm holding.
Well, that's because the side of the PC they're using is the one with a door that connects right outside. I'm unfamiliar with the Performance Center and how it's laid out, so I'm going to believe that 100%. Yeah.
We do not claim to have been there.
Oh, yeah.
Braun Strowman in a smart car. See, this could be good stuff. Everyone just pulls up in some sort of fucking...
Corbin double parks. I would love that.
Oh, Corbin double parks or parks in the red.
Yeah.
In a handicap spot. Double parks in handicap.
Loses match, comes out somebody's Tony Star. What the fuck?
Yeah. Strowman has a weird new shirt. Is that true?
Is it like Big E's when it had like the titties out? So
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
When
no.
you have-
the
Middles?
Kofi Believe shirt, but his no eyes. It was just his like pecs. The best shirt.
Find it.
Let's see. I don't want to get rid of that one either. This one's
I think
fine.
it was on the shop.
They can make this Mania really good or really bad. I think... I think either way you're going to have a different kind of Mania than we've ever seen before, and that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Strowman Express.
It's a train?
Is it got his face on the front like Thomas?
So it's clear the tracks. It's got his face on the front of it.
like
It's
Thomas?
so shitty. I'm glad that that's... put it up on the screen.
Oh, they should have drawn it up like Thomas. Like have him smile.
It was Thomas the Train. So you have a new Braun Strowman shirt that looks fucking dumb. And it's all about that stupid move he does that we want him to stop doing. And it made no sense in the Rumble, and they even pointed it out.
And that makes no sense for trains, because train conductors don't do that. What's this go around shit? That's what people who drive forklifts do.
Braun the Tank Engine. I do agree that fans don't necessarily
Braun the
make
forklift.
the show, but the fans reacting is definitely a big part of the show. What does WrestleMania 30 look? Yeselmania, how does that look without the fans at the end? Without the confetti, and without Connor up front?
It was great when Daniel Bryan came out to the song, and I was like, right, no fans. That
Yeah.
was when I was like, this is a very much, this is a fan theme.
Exactly. And so, yeah, they don't make the show, but at the end of the Miracle on Bourbon Street, if you pan out and you don't have the audience all losing their shit that Daniel Bryan won, what does the end of that look like? Becky Lynch main eventing WrestleMania, I think that she may not have like celebrated with the fans quite the same way Dan O'Brien did, but I felt like the fans played a part in that. I felt like when Becky won the Rumble, that was a fan moment. You know what I mean? Like, even Edge coming back.
Mm-hmm.
When Edge came back and the crowd goes fucking ballistic, there's that moment where everyone's getting chills and stuff. But if he comes into an empty arena and no one makes a noise, and then the announcers all like, well, shit, it looks like Edge is back coming to the ring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the excitement doesn't play the same when it's just Morrow and Michael Cole yelling at the top of their lungs.
Oh God, Morrow's gonna be there for it. They have to, because like for him to like be way boisterous.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the shirt.
Here comes the old Braun Strowman, the tank engine. On the back of it, you can't see it on this one, but on the back of it says "Clear the tracks." Fucking Christ! But this is the new Braun Strowman shirt.
I guess it would make sense around like the holidays ish, because there's like that story, like children's story.
Polar Express.
That's the only thing I can think of.
No, they're saying because he runs around the ring.
No, then this is dumb.
Ring around the Strowman.
It got immediate negative responses on Twitter.
Oh, really? A bunch of people just immediately said this is bullshit?
People were like, who's the graphic designer?
Yeah.
It's like, damn. Alright.
Yeah, I think only his family is buying that one, personally. The new Sasha Banks shirt I like.
Is it worse than the Val Venus shirt?
Which one?
Locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
Oh, yeah.
And it's in Jizz font.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't know if that's as bad as...
Or APA always pounding ass. It was real... yeah, APA and then like always pounding ass.
Well, Seth said the one that you hated. It was like,
Oh.
stroke it. Like...
Yeah. Yeah, the ignite it, stroke it, lick it. It was all there. It was awful.
Be happy there's this table covering my...
No, nothing's happening.
Yeah, I think that WrestleMania could be great even without the audience, but I do think the audience makes for big moments. I know it's an asshole thing to say, but I'm going to say it. There is a lot of talent who are getting the WrestleMania matches this year that I do not give a shit about.
Yep.
And there's part of me that's all like, good, let it be in an empty arena. Fuck Drew McIntyre.
Okay. So, why?
He comes off so entitled.
Ooh.
Yeah, these are cool ones. He comes off super entitled in all these promos he's been doing. This whole, like, I've been waiting for 10 years and now I'm going to go get that. And it was like, I don't care if it's Ricochet or Brock Lesnar. Doesn't really matter. Just as long as I'm in the main event of WrestleMania in front of all those fans. Like, that's what I deserve to be. I was promised that 10 years ago. And he comes off like this cocky, entitled piece of shit and somehow I'm supposed to cheer for him. Then he fucking kills a fucking pet on TV and everyone goes, yep, this is our guy. Fuck that, dude. Like, I'm not a fan of him right now. I don't care for him to get his promised moment that he fucked up. Now we're just supposed to give it to him because he's entitled to it.
No.
His gimmick before he left was the chosen one, yeah, but oh well. You're back now, and now you have to earn shit around here. And the fact that he's still like, oh, I was promised this back in the day.
Cool.
Oh, where I've had exactly 0 title shots. I don't care. Make me care.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I don't care. So yeah, the idea that Drew McIntyre is gonna probably lose to Brock Lesnar in an empty arena, I don't feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. I
don't feel bad for Charlotte Flair, shoehorned into another fucking Mania against NXT for no fucking reason. Don't really care. Like, I don't know. There's not many matches on here that I'm all like, oh, I feel so bad for them.
I need to see this, yeah.
Yeah, or I feel so bad for him. Like, if this was Becky's main event with Ronda and Charlotte, I'd feel really bad. If it was Kofi finally getting his moment in Kofi Mania, I'd feel fucking terrible. Yeah. They have not done anything to make me care about any of these matches the way I cared about matches last year.
Thank you, COVID-19.
Yeah. You really done me a service by agreeing with me on this.
To pretending shit's important.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see. Where was the other? That's not right. I thought Becky did a really good job with her promo. I thought KO did really good in his promo and his challenging of Seth Rollins. It's weird. I thought that the Stone Cold stuff was weird. Like, I didn't hate it, but it did come off a little weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like he was ad-libbing a little.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem is he never comes off like he's ad-libbing a little. He always comes off as completely authentic.
Oh.
John Cena versus Fiend in a Hooters.
Well, you saw he challenged him in a Hooters, right? Bray Wyatt was on Twitter and said something along the lines of, if they can't do this because of people, they'll fight him in a Hooters.
He's like, not a joke at all.
Yeah, not even a joke. I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Wing eating contest. Bray's gonna win.
Yeah, you start with the wings, and then he throws a little hot sauce in Cena's eyes, and you go from there.
I don't know. Cena might throw up on him.
Cena will definitely throw up on him.
Bang!
I liked the Becky and Stone Cold stuff together. I even liked, for the most part, Stone Cold fucking around with Byron Saxton.
Yeah.
I know people were upset about it because they're all like, he's basically just being an idiot or being a jerk to Byron Saxton and making Saxton look bad.
When does Byron deserve to not be treated like shit?
Yeah, but that's also Byron's gimmick, is people just treat him like shit. I thought it was funny when he gets up to go up to the ring and Lawler just says, I guess Byron didn't pay his brain bill today. It's like, what?
I love when they make fun of Byron and he pauses like, oh. And you could just hear them like try not to laugh out loud as he's just like no selling it. Yeah. And you have the audible silence of just like,
yeah. I didn't really care too much about Mysterio versus Andrade, which is weird because I thought the matches they had
we've seen it like 30 times.
Yeah, just kind of over it.
Oh, cool! The Mexicans are fighting again. That's basically, and I don't mean that so shitty, but it's like they can each go fight other people. There's a point like, and it does come off like you're just lumping them together.
Yeah,
and it's like you're only lumping these people with other people of the same background. Like, oh, okay, well.
It's making me not like Zelina, honestly, I think.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose interest in all of them.
Yeah.
What do you think of them putting Asuka on commentary for that match?
I liked her response to it after. What? She put a tweet where she's like, I was on commentary, and she's like being super like Asuka reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that got me about it was I didn't have a problem with her being on commentary or obviously screaming in Japanese, and I thought her and Lawler worked well together. But I didn't understand the fucking point of her commentating a U.S. title. Well, I guess it wasn't for the title, but a match with Rey Mysterio and Andrade. She doesn't have a story with them. Typically, when someone comes out to commentate during a match, it's because there's something they're trying to get across. They're trying to bury someone in that match or push someone in that match towards the fight with the person on commentary. She was just out there screaming in Japanese.
It was, I think, just supposed to be an attraction.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know that people are going to tune in for that. But I guess it was, I paid more attention to that than the match by the end of it.
Which isn't a bad thing, since you both hated the match.
Well, that's what I mean. What makes it a bad thing?
Oh.
Is that I should have cared about that match and I didn't. And then you had this like weird gimmick thing happening on commentary and I just found myself listening to that instead.
Yeah.
It was weird. I just thought it was weirdly placed because I think that it was fun what they did, but I just didn't understand what the point was. I guess we were just doing it because she was there. She's in town still, so we can use her. I just didn't see how it was helpful or how it had a purpose at all.
What would you then?
Son of a bitch.
Just not had her out there.
Do you need a tissue?
I'm good.
Or I would have had her come out and do that during a women's match. Bring out a couple of women. You know, put Alexa versus Mandy or some shit. And then have Asuka commentating that. Talking shit about Alexa. No one caught Triple H's comments to Michael Cole last week.
They're amazing.
What do you mean no one caught it? Everyone caught it. Matter of fact, WWE just posted a video compiling all that shit. Like, I thought that was what everyone was talking about. Like, the fact that he was, like, being snide to Cole the whole time. I really like Triple H, like, coming back from commercial and he was on camera. He was doing the makeup. He was doing the commentary. Like, he was just all over. Unless there's a comment you're thinking of specifically, WWE tweeted out a compilation video of all of this shit talk that Triple H did to Michael Cole. I like that Mojo and Triple H were pushing him around, just screaming at him to get hyped. And he's like, I'm hyped! Like, please stop.
Evidently Gronk will be there this week.
Gronk's going to be there this week, which will be nice to see how the crowd reacts to that.
I don't like Rob Gronkowski.
Why? What did he do?
Just don't like the fucker.
What did he do?
I've never liked him.
Did he do like a personal thing to someone?
No, just...
Is he abusive?
You just doesn't care for him.
He's kind of a tool. He went to the same college as me, and he's kind of a tool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
everyone like talks about him. He's like this hype thing. And every time I see him do anything or talk him, also I just hate the Pats. So
Yeah, I thought his gimmick was that he was a tool.
yeah, he does that well.
Yeah, he's just like a party guy.
Yeah.
Let's see, when he got off commentary, he said, "Look, I've got other stuff I need to do now. I need to get off commentary. I'm not a great commentary for your. It's not my strong point. But then again, people have been saying that about you for 25 years, so I don't know." Yeah, he definitely said that. That was like the beginning of that commentary thing. People were talking about like, it was fucking funny. And then when he said that, what was it? When he was on the camera, behind the camera, he said something like, he's just trying to figure out where he fits in best. He's like not good at this, that, or the other, and he's like. He goes, not all of us can be like you, Cole, and just be bad at a job and keep it for 30 years.
That was the best line. I was
Yeah. So good. Yeah, it was fucking good.
Yeah, my Triple H, I think he should have been on Raw. Like, I will say that over and over. I think he should have been on Raw.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because Byron doing the scorecard on Austin, reading those fucking cue cards, that was so weird.
I think another thing that would have been cool too, have the Royal Rumble match be the last hour.
Close out the show with it.
Yeah, condense and say we're gonna do this special. So for the end of Raw, we will have this match. We're gonna do everything else condensed, so it's 2 hours. Because, God, did it drag? Get it done.
Does the last hour have to be good? 'Cause I know they're trying to get people to stay tuned in till the end. But when you're in the position that you're in, and ratings are expected to fluctuate right now, and no one's getting the ratings you guys are getting anyways, like, couldn't you have sacrificed the end of that for the enjoyment of the rest of the hardcore?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you still would have gotten 1 million plus. Yeah, people who hadn't watched that match being like, "Oh yeah, I definitely will stay and watch a Royal Rumble."
I think it would have been awesome, and also announce in advance. They didn't announce in advance. Say, "Hey, we're gonna play the Royal Rumble during this."
Yeah, it just was like they threw to it, and we're all like, "Oh, I guess here we are."
Yeah, that would have been really smart. I think that would have made the show a lot better to me.
It was also kind of funny that they played Becky showing up in the semi right before that. They go to the Rumble match, and they come back in the Rumble match, and then they have Becky pull up in the semi again.
Yeah.
They just replayed that same second again. I was like, "Hey, did you guys play too early, or did you guys just like sneak peek it?"
Should have repark.
Yeah, she's like, she was in the no park zone.
I don't like
can't leave it here. It's a loading zone. I'll get it.
I don't like how progressively our sinuses are both going to shit during this.
You should give them something.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's a good point.
Great.
Is our fevers going up?
Stop.
Is this? Are we gonna? We can put this up as watch us live catch the virus.
No.
God damn it!
No.
No one else will have that out there.
I gotta
You
get
can
this.
watch as it happens. They get drunker and more viral.
No.
I gotta get all this done. I sneezed walking down the stairs to work, and people stopped, so I don't want to do this again.
No.
Because people around me kind of stopped and were like, I don't like this.
Yeah. There's another fucking gnat. What's the deal with all these? God damn it.
When did Becky get the time to get her CDL? Commercial driver's
I'm sure
license.
she's got it.
Yeah.
There's no way she doesn't. She's Irish. Shasham, shasham.
Or a big rig license.
Yeah.
Those are hard to drive.
So I did think Raw was otherwise good. For some reason, I thought that the Andrade match was flat, and I don't know if it was just the two are in the ring again. I think it's got to be it, because I thought the ones on SmackDown were good. But it really brings up the question of what is Mania going to look like. You can't... That blurred that out?
I just realized.
That's fucked up.
Okay, for people who've never seen us, what's happening?
So Klump has a censored version. He somehow has a child's account on Twitch, and so it blurs out words and
So
censors it.
so far tonight it's blurred out. Let's go back to the beginning of the night. It has blurred out Dick, Badass. I know it blurred out Badass. That was funny. Hooters.
Hooters was,
And then Handicapped.
and now Handicap was censored.
Handicap.
'Cause it says
I'm not supposed to know about them.
Yeah. That
Is it
offensive.
censored, or is it very... Is it like censoring it, or is it kind of like eugenics, kind of with...
It's just purifying it.
Yeah, distilling it.
Yeah. That's bizarre. What do you think they do with WrestleMania? If this is what Raw and SmackDown look like, do you think they do the same thing? Yeah, Handicap was
Yeah,
censored.
and again, it was censored again.
Yeah.
Man, damn handicappers. Handicap, please.
Let me see if I can pull up the exact verbiage they had with their announcement. Here it goes. Said their statement, in coordination with local partners and government officials, WrestleMania and all related events in Tampa Bay will not take place. However, WrestleMania will still stream live on Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. on the WWE Network and be available on pay-per-view. Only essential personnel will be on the closed set at WWE's training facility in Orlando, Florida to produce WrestleMania. It doesn't say those are happening at the same time. It doesn't say streaming live from Performance Center. It doesn't say essential staff will be there to stream live. It says it will stream live on Sunday and there will be essential staff in Florida for WrestleMania. It doesn't say them together, and I think that's a very clever talk because I do think this is a really cool... What?
It's a clever talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that not words?
Cleverly worded. Forget it. Never mind. They could be doing a no fan event.
Getty's this way?
They could do it. They should do a meet and greet with no fans. They should show access. They should still put up an access tent and show all the stars sitting in there, kind of twiddling a Sharpie.
That'll get so many people pissed.
Like old WrestleMania, they were going, you can do this. So we have these dragsters, and like you can commentate on like matches with Michael Cole. He's just sitting there.
That's how you put the 24/7 title in WrestleMania. You show all the fucking guys sitting at access, and then you see someone looking over and be like, "Yeah, fuck you, Riddick." You know what I mean? Like, you just have the other wrestlers be like, leave him alone. He goes, no, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Just have them screaming at each other across the tent.
That could be AEW. They could come in. They could do a hybrid thing and have AEW, like Access be other wrestlers from other promotions come in to hang out on Access.
Well, they also have like 100-something guys assigned to NXT who've never been on TV. You could put a bunch of people.
They could do Access and just fucking lie.
Exactly. He says last he heard, Vince still wanted to use stadium for pyro reasons, but have no one to attend. And just use the venue for the show. See, I mean, I don't know. I think that you can still do some form of pyro in the PC. It's different. But someone showed Becky had Steam when she came out this week. You know what I mean? You could do little things if you wanted, but is it necessary? Or do you just show other pyro? I don't know. How do you make WrestleMania feel big if you have it in a small venue like that? I mean, like, because then at that point you have a huge stadium filled with fucking pyrotechnics and nobody. It looks probably silly.
Or a small venue filled with pyrotechnics, and it turns into a great white show.
But then again, the Saudi show, the second one they had in Saudi, when they did the pan back of the stadium, it was empty. It showed that there was just a small cluster on the bottom and a few people here and there. It looked real patchy, and then it was just like flying overhead, and you see like, and I was like, that's a little weird.
They should force everyone to the lower rows and just use the upper decks for pyro. You can do like layered pyro.
Yeah, maybe, but I think that they just said they're going to be at the Performance Center. Here's what I wonder though. I was thinking before this they could use like 3 different studios, so that way you don't have too many people in one spot. Because if the idea is you can't crowd more than like 10 to 50 is what it seems like. I mean, some states are saying 100, so I don't know. Anywhere between 10 and 100 seem to be varying degrees of possible. So if you had 3 different locations and studios, where you had like one in Florida, you have one in Stanford, obviously. You could do the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. You could do something in LA probably. And you have your staffs go set up now, weeks in advance, so everything's set up and ready to go. Then you have your essential crews hit those spots with the talent on day of, or start pre-taping everything. Film Brock and Drew now. Just film it, because no one's there. You have a completely closed set. No one knows. No one can spoil it. You only have essential staff there anyways. I don't know. There we go. Oh god, CM Punk hit it right on the nose. What did CM Punk say?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, I don't listen to CM Punk because I think he's pretty.
They figured out a way so that the fans won't boo Roman.
Oh, that whole thing, yeah. Here's the only way that fans aren't going to boo Roman. I don't think the fans would have booed Roman on this necessarily, anyways, because no one's really behind Goldberg.
Yeah,
but
he's getting better.
Yeah, I do think it's probably a little early for what people were ready for, but I don't know. I don't know, but they won't boo. And I do like this aspect of it, is only the ones I like are going to be cheered, and only ones I don't like are going to be booed, because I'll be the only one making noise in my house. So that'll be good. That'll be really good. It'll work out well. For once, the crowd won't be in my way of enjoying the show. Fucking asshole crowds. They're always wrong.
I want to see if Lacey comes out. You just hear someone say, "Make sure you get the camera up tight."
Yeah.
You actually audibly hear Vince yelling it.
Move it up. He tweeted,
Get it in there.
Yeah, finally WWE found a way for fans to not boo Roman and chant for me. Yeah, and then someone else said that like they could just play a recording. Have like Corbin could get some major heat if he came out playing a recording of CM Punk chants, which I think would be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also think CM Punk's a fucking douchebag, so it's hard for me to be like behind what he's saying. So. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the fans aren't gonna boo him for one. I mean, obviously this wasn't the plan to get him not booed, but I think the idea was put him with Goldberg to try and get him to not boo, because they're just like, oh, they'll hate this, so of course they'll cheer for him. Where I do think that we were definitely in that realm, and definitely the conversation was happening of, are they going to ship this out of the building? Are they just going to boo all of it, regardless of what's going on? WWE's still not telling people how to get ticket refunds. Most people bought their tickets through other sites and have already been getting their refunds. If you bought the tickets directly from WWE, that'd be one thing, but most of it's all done through Ticketmaster and stuff.
Ticketmaster.
They did I saw them make an announcement or like put out a post about the refunds, but I don't remember what it said on it. But it was like slightly vague, but said something along the lines of go to the people who did the thing. But yeah, this verbiage is to me peculiar because it's saying you could stream. So I think then we are in a position where you could do a ton of pre-tapes. You can make a very cinematic-based WrestleMania. You can make it look different than any other Mania and make it look more dramatic than any other Mania. And you could do crazy shit like you did before with like the Hardy compound with the House of Horrors. I know those things didn't always like land quite the same, but they didn't land right because they were being aired in a stadium full of an audience. So it came off weird where it would cut to the audience watching this on a big screen and it just kept coming off weird. But if it's in a bubble where there's no audience anyways, you could have a very cinematic WrestleMania. And that could be really cool.
Yeah. And
you could start taping now. Virtual Mania would be cool. Like they did with the Survivor Series, where you could watch after the fact from the stadium.
Dude. Yeah.
If you had it set up right, especially if you had pre-tapes, it would come off that way anyways, right? If you had pre-tapes now and in those arenas had those little bubbles set up for the VRC or V. Let me see. I have the app still here.
Okay.
VRV. If you have the VRV cameras set up, then it could appear live, but you could appear like you're there at the same time.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool side event. Like have like they could air like, I know that they occasionally do like up, down, do like a big tournament thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like with wrestlers, like fighting their opponents or something like that, or like they could do like a virtual tournament, like an esports tournament among their superstars, because a lot of them play games.
Instead of WrestleMania?
No, in addition to it, like
oh.
they're gonna need content. Period. Okay.
Yeah, content's gonna need to happen.
Calling Xavier Woods.
Yeah, Woods. What do we do?
More podcasts. His podcast is the podcast is great though.
And Ember Moon. They're both gamers.
There's a lot of gamers in that company for sure.
But who aren't wrestling right now, so they could also still.
You're still wrestling?
They're injured. Both of them are injured.
Yeah,
Woods and Ember?
Yeah, they've both been Achilles.
Yeah, she's been out since like last Rumble.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could do a few things. Asuka's the biggest gamer. Asuka's a huge gamer. I don't know. I think it's really exciting what they could do. I don't know what they will do. I also think it's ironic that if they go the route of cinematic and pre-tapes, then next year being Hollywood Mania kind of makes it a little
They should
fun.
do a Walking Dead themed Mania for Halloween for that next year.
Yeah. Oh, TP Poker's back. TP Poker. How you doing, TP?
Surviving?
Yeah. Are you guys all locked down? I mean, even you, Kuro. Are you locked down and just like chilling in there? We were hoping we'd get a little more chatter today just because we thought, you know what? Maybe people are just flipping through and thought, hey, I'll talk to these drunk assholes.
Drunk asshole.
That's true.
Yeah. Let me don't drink.
Oh, you're an asshole for other reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still an asshole.
I didn't say I wasn't. Just don't drink. I'm not a drunk asshole. A racist.
Yeah, that's true. It's endearing. Kuro's in Japan.
Oh God.
Damn. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now. That's why his name's familiar to me.
Wait,
Apart from me mistaking his identity entirely.
Aren't they getting better now?
Yeah,
I think they're on the back. They're on the
they're on the
downside,
backside of
right?
the
They
ship.
went through the horrible shit we're about to go through.
Ugh, GR Lunar's here.
He's clapping for himself.
Clap for himself.
You can't clap.
You can't clap. You can't give yourself the clap, Lunar.
Yeah, you can, but
Oh,
Stop.
never mind.
glare at the camera.
Yeah. Damn it, Lunar, giving himself the clap. Let's see. Japan closed off the biggest island 4 days ago. Damn. Hey, is it worse than we think here in America? Can you let me know? Because I feel like they're giving us a lot of numbers and statistics just on the reel that comes off very much like this is nothing to worry about. This is no big deal.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, but this is what they're feeding us is like, hey, it's really nothing, not a big deal. Mostly we're just gonna get a little bit sick and be fine. But then they're also like, don't go around anybody ever and lock yourself in the basement for as long as you can. This could kill everyone, but everyone's probably gonna be fine.
Yeah, but also I want to throw this out. So the thing here is that it's not as bad as the reporting. Yes, but
Okay,
in a country that has paid leave,
that's true. The
as standard and a medical
Okay.
a system of medicine that is
Right.
a little bit better at preventing shit.
But I
than we
do
are.
think that that's the key to it. If he's saying that it's not as bad as they're reporting as far as like danger, probably,
Oh, yeah.
then it kind of edifies my original thought of I think they're more concerned with their ability to treat,
Yes.
not with how bad it can be, but how fast it spreads.
Yes.
There's not enough medical beds. There's not enough quarantine. There's not enough medicine. Not enough testing. That if everyone gets it at once, everyone's just fucked. Or
Okay.
if they can tell everyone, hey, just knock it the fuck off now. We can get rid of it before it's a problem. Then that makes sense.
So the goal of the idea of like when you try and flatten the curve of infection rates is that it's not so much like, so a lot of people are like, well, I hope it goes fast. No, I want this shit to last 6 months, not the level where you're cut off and stuff like that, but we want it to last for an extended period of time. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris. I went to college with him too. His buddy, Chris. We went to college together.
He says it's slowing down. 2 doctors who caught it in New Orleans recovered in 7 days, which is half the normal time, which is cool. So all that sounds good. I think that what it is we know that from a medical standpoint, we can't serve the amount of people it would affect if we didn't do this.
Well, and that's like that thing of like, you also have a lot of people who, so if with somebody close to me who is in medicine, the method by which they're supposed to kind of watch and see people and kind of recommend getting treatment is this. 1, do you present symptoms? Okay, cool. Like if you're presenting the fever, cough, then okay, we might have this. We could also have a flu. Quarantine, like just like you would the flu. Stay home, take care of yourself. If it's continuing to get worse, or if you're high risk and stuff like that, then we add these different layers to it, and you keep going. Are you stable? Have you been doing? Because there's a lot of levels. Like if somebody's like me, I have had pneumonia 3 times in my life, so I would be considered high risk. Yeah, my mother has COPD, so it'd be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
But if I get it and say, yeah, I'm sick as hell, but I'm okay, I'm in bed, I'm just slower, I'm probably not going to go to the hospital or need to. I just need to self-quarantine.
No.
If somebody is incredibly ill and sick, that's the goal. Is just we want to make sure we don't have everyone who's worried about it hitting the system at once, trying to get help and treatment, because then the people who need treatment will not be able to get it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I retweeted someone who said that they were just diagnosed with it, or were not diagnosed with it, but they came down with symptoms after taking someone who was diagnosed with it to a hospital a couple days later. And so they put like, here's kind of what they're going through, just to be like, because it's going to come up, and if it does come up, here's what you should know. And a lot of it was, if you're exhibiting symptoms and you're not high risk, just act like you have it.
Yeah.
Just go home and act like you have it.
Yeah, no, there's the Dr. Fauci, the head of the CDC here, the way he described how
a couple more scoops in.
Yeah, the way he was kind of recommending people like take care of themselves is this: quit viewing or trying to respond to this. Nice, good. As if you don't have it and you're trying to catch it, act like you do, because the precautions you take when you have something are what you should really just generally take in this time. If you're sick and you know you're sick, you tend to stay home to get better. If you're trying not to get sick, staying home is a good call.
Yeah.
Or minimizing the stuff you do out.
Well, that's empty. So we're looking for sponsorships or cease and desist. So Jameson Cold Brew, you're our target of the week. Let's see, guys. Call it Steve Carino, so things can't flag you later.
Steve Carino.
Yeah, he's the trainer for Performance Center.
You know, ROH canceled everything until the end of May.
ROH did?
Yep.
Oh, just right now?
All live events. No, it's like 6 hours ago.
6 hours ago, they canceled all live events. Ring of Honor canceling all live events. So I wonder what they're going to do to put out content, right? Call the virus Steve Carino so it can't flag you later. What did Steve Carino do to people? Did he never win twice or something? Yeah, DP Poker, we've been pretty much quarantining ourselves, as it were. I got to continue to go to work, but I work in a small office without very many people, so hopefully that's a benefit. But we figure stay as quarantined as possible, and then when we do these shows, it'll feel like a safer environment for us because we won't have to worry about that of, hey, we've all been exposed to this many people or not. It's like, hey, none of us have been exposed to anybody. We're all feeling fine. Let's go ahead and do it. But Kevlar's not here today because he was not doing that. And we wanted to err on the side of caution with that one. He's been at a few gatherings lately. Just because in our area, it's really not a big problem. There's, 2 cases in the whole county.
Right now?
Right now.
10.
10 in the state, but I think 2 in the county.
Yeah. Because there are other counties.
Yeah, I think all the other ones were in Phoenix.
No, they have 4 confirmed. They have 6 presumptive in Pima.
In Pima?
Yeah,
Okay.
dude. That's it. And then, still not bad, because also the majority of the cases we've had here have been, they're tracked to kind of like all the ones in Pinal County came from one family and their caregiver and like the person who went overseas. So it'll be okay.
Yeah. So we're in a pretty low risk city, which is nice, but we still want to practice as much caution as possible.
Oh, yeah.
TV Poker says wear a condom. Have you seen those clips of the people buying the condoms and then using them for elevators?
What?
They're putting it on their hands for them to press elevator buttons, and then they're leaving them in the elevator.
I've been washing my hands before I pee because I don't want my penis coughing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Let's see,
I
there's
got you, little buddy.
8,000 confirmed negative here, but like 70 plus positive, so and only 8 in my city. Yeah, but you want to be careful. And then at the end of the day, I'm just really excited that, I mean, I guess from a personal standpoint, it's nice that we can still keep our storytelling going.
I really think this is more of like a purifying thing because it blanked condom and sex.
Oh.
And humps.
Ooh,
Humps.
it censored humps.
Yeah.
So even if we were talking about camels, I bet you it would censor camel. Someone talk about camel humps, it won't censor yourself.
I was about to type something incredibly offensive to see if it.
Oh. Did that censor that one?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
No.
All right. So I don't know. What do you guys think about them potentially using pre-tapes? Because I think that's where they should go with it, especially because you don't know how bad things are going to get, especially in Florida, especially with that guy in the TSA testing positive. I don't know where they're going with it. People are just throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
What's it censoring? So far, those are coming through. I think that it would be really. I think it'd be really cool, and start filming now because right now you've got no one in the audience to do any spoilers. You've given an opportunity of a lifetime of actually being able to film cinematic. And what is it? Vince has been saying forever, we make movies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking make some movies, dude.
But like good movies, not like the
Yeah.
ones you hate. Like
Not the Marine 6.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Miz is not at WrestleMania. We're gonna keep it that way. Gucci, Beaver. Are they coming through? No. They're coming through, man.
How do you spell polyps?
Like Pollock?
Not polyps?
Those little bulbous things.
P-O.
Anal fissures.
No,
Anal fissure.
What are we doing? Come on.
Sorry, we're trying to see how censored he is.
This is for medical purposes.
So wait, it doesn't censor Itchy Beaver, but it definitely censored humps and handicapped. It's fucked up, man. I don't get Twitch, I'll be honest. All right. Do you guys have any input on the idea of a cinematic-based WrestleMania? Because I think it would be really interesting, especially if we, as we all presume, will be back to normal by next year. Then it could be very cool, I think, to have WrestleMania that's like a movie.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really neat thing.
I think it'd be very ironic to be the year when it's not in California.
Yeah.
We exist, you know. What about the other thing that they've been saying? People have been saying that they're going to push WrestleMania off to Madison Square Garden in June. I don't see that happening, and I don't like the idea of it myself.
No, I think we need to have it in April. I think it's just a sense of normalcy, which is also big here. Like, as more and more things get affected and changed, doing things in a way that you can as you can, it helps people feel normal.
It does. When WWE put on the show after 9/11, it was just for that purpose, to create a sense of normalcy, to create an escape. You know what I mean? The people who watch wrestling, those of us that watch wrestling, we really truly watch it to get away from all the other shit going on. It really is more of an escape than people who just watch sports. People who watch sports watch it because if it's exciting or from their hometown or it's nice to scream about a thing sometimes. But they don't look for the same escapism that wrestling fans look for.
Yeah.
After Kobe,
What?
After Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
That was the same day.
Yeah, and then we have Rumble.
They managed to pull it off.
Yeah, that's just it. With what would happen to SummerSlam if they pushed WrestleMania to June?
We'll put that in like December.
Yeah, I think that I think you can't do it because of that. And I think also is what do you do? Just say, hey, Drew and Brock isn't going to happen until SummerSlam instead? Like,
we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Like, what are you going to just put it off because it's not the WrestleMania? I think because everything we watch is so storyline driven, and because you need the matches to move the story, that you do WrestleMania on the fucking 5th. You have the matches you said you're going to have, and you move the storyline further. And if eventually you want to have a big fucking event in Tampa Bay and have like a mini mania or some shit to appease the people who were supposed to be in Tampa Bay, then cool. But otherwise, I think you just move forward.
I do feel bad for Tampa Bay in the sense, like, what do you do for them?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Well, they're getting Tom Brady, so it's okay.
I think Goldberg versus Roman should be postponed because Goldberg is a risk factor. So is Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. No, he's already dead.
Oh, that's right.
Boom!
Boom!
I got jokes!
You did it. You did it. Taker's fine as he's got no health conditions, but Goldberg has.
What health?
What's his health conditions? His concussions he gives himself. He's got asthma.
Who doesn't?
Everyone's got asthma nowadays.
That's the healthiest fucking asthmatic I've ever goddamn seen. Fuck you.
Like everyone that moves to our state gets asthma.
Yes. Poker says move it to MSG so there can be a crowd. This is their Super Bowl. What's the rush? Only 3 good matches so far anyways. Give it more time to build. But I think it's just it. You can't push that build off. Because we've already got the matches we have, you'd have to have those matches. And then what? You just have completely other matches? So then what? You have Drew McIntyre maybe win at some sort of April event that's not WrestleMania, only to do something else later? Like, I think even if it looks different and feels different, you got to have it.
Yeah.
That's why his matches are so short. I think his matches are so short because he's not good at wrestling. He just wasn't trained when he came in. So that's why he did the matches he had.
He did say that. Yeah.
Just like that, like, just not good at.
Yeah, he's bad at it, not because he gets gassed fast. They can push Mania until the end of April, but things are already getting canceled at the end of April. They're starting to push back stuff. First week of May is starting to get canceled on stuff, and I'm watching because I got tickets for something at the beginning of May and at the end of May. And I'm very excited for, and so I've been like just watching everything, being like, are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? Let's see, Drew isn't winning anyways, which I completely agree with. Drew isn't going to win, but I feel like if it's not Mania, you can let him win. If it's Mania, there's no way he wins. Because the quarantine is only until April 10th.
For you.
It says NHL starting back up. Yeah, that's not true here. I know that some places are going to be quarantined longer than that.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, there's some companies are closed indefinitely as of right now. They don't have a scheduled pick back up time.
I swear Clump did not arrive sick.
He didn't, which means he's contracted it here. Legit. And we can be a case study.
Legit, I have a really severe
We're looking for sponsorships, cease and desists, and case studies.
I actually was part of the case study.
You're going to do it again?
I'm cool with it.
You can either be a part of history and catch it, or you can stand behind.
I had like the highest sodium level a person had and survived with no neurological.
You eat a lot of ham and chips, man.
No, when I was a baby, I like couldn't eat.
You probably just had nothing but pork rinds growing up as a baby. Just crushed up pork rinds into a bottle. That would explain a lot about you now.
But him in a bubble? But me in a bubble?
Yeah,
My butt is a bubble. Bubble butt.
Okay.
a clump bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've canceled a lot of things indefinitely. I don't know that April 10th is the move to count on, because the other thing is we just don't know what's going to happen next, right? I mean, everyone saw that shit in Florida, right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, be quarantined in Florida. We have a ton of cases, and then they just like took a helicopter over the beach, and I said, what the fuck is everyone doing out there? Let's see. Kuro says he's apparently not able to contract the disease. What do you got to do to get that? I want one of
Don't
those.
say that. They're gonna round you up and like extract all of you.
Yeah,
to make things.
give me some of your blood, dude.
Yeah, haven't you seen Akira?
Yeah, I've seen vampire shows.
Yeah.
You drink the blood, you're fine.
They're gonna have you in several vials, and then in Neo Tokyo.
Yeah, I want to know how they found this out that they can't contract.
Yeah, what is it?
Like,
I guess I don't know enough about it even to.
They just go lick.
They just rubbed it on him, and he was like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Just health minister coughs on hand.
Yeah, sitting with like a rag with like ethanol on it, except it's just got Corona, and just like holding it over his mouth. He's like, "I'm fine," and you're gonna pass out.
This wheezing 52-year-old's gonna bite you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we have a lot of options for Mania. I don't think you put it off, but I also understand the idea of wanting to, because it's also like, is this a bad look? Is it a bad look for WWE to say, hey, we're meant to be practicing social distancing and not gathering, and everyone's canceling literally everything, but WWE says we don't have to do that. We can still do our show. Does it look bad for WWE to move forward, even with their confinedness? Because then it's like you're still asking these people to travel. You're still asking them to get out in public. You're still having them gather in small groups, even if you test everybody. Let's see, you want to be part of a study where they inject you with active contagions. Pay me to stay there under lab conditions for 14 days. Showed no symptoms at all. Disease rejected, bonding to my respiratory system. That's badass, dude. That's some Wolverine shit right there.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
There you go. Yeah, that's dope. Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, I guess it could be.
You have an emoji of you lighting a fart in your hand?
Yeah, that's a handful of lit fart.
Gross.
Yeah. Really big in Memphis. Do you think it's a bad look for them to continue doing shows?
No. The way that they're doing it's fine. I want other people to give them pressure. I think the other thing too, and this is gonna sound shitty, it's not knocking WWE's. WWE is kind of a feast or famine company right now. They're in kind of a bad spot with several factors. So yeah, I get doing it. Doing what you can to minimize contact as you can. I think that also might be why you might see less matches too. They're less physical contact.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you had to do with a mask on even.
Oh, all luchadors.
All luchas. Bring back El Generico.
Bring back Moxley's old.
Yeah, I thought about that. Moxley's gas mask.
Oh yeah. Someone else put Moxley was way ahead of his time.
It's good shit now, isn't it?
Yeah. I said about 1 in 35,000 might be completely immune to the disease.
There's always gonna be like.
That's good.
Yeah. It just leaves 34,999 to die.
Yeah, that's fine. They can go.
Stop it.
Send them out. But yeah, I don't feel like it makes them look bad, but I guess I understand, because someone else was telling me the other day that they're afraid that a wrestler's going to die because Vince just won't stop doing this. He won't just sit back.
Vince would be the first to die if they don't stop doing this.
Yeah, he can't be there live, right? He's got to be remoting in or Skyping in.
This is the genetic jackhammer, though.
That's a good point. He's got testicles of titanium.
Mm-hmm. He once got into a major car accident outside of his studios and walked away from it, and then got ticketed for walking away from the accident. Yeah,
and then he ripped both his quads and still walked away.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think that I don't think it makes him look bad, but I understand when people think that. But I'm also just excited that my favorite shows get to keep going.
Yeah,
and I'm interested in it, and it kind of makes me more compelled. He's got quads of butter. Quads just
on a hot day.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see how the build goes. I'm really curious. I do think that it's pretty cool, the idea of putting some of these old shows on. I listened to Sam Roberts' podcast, and he was even talking about maybe this coming up SmackDown show WrestleMania 30, Bray versus Cena. Like, show these things they're talking about that's leading to where we are now.
Yeah.
You know?
I support that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other match he was talking about, too. But he was talking about, like, showing older stuff that leads into where we're going. That hypes the match that we have. Like, re-show some of the stuff that was on the recent pay-per-views, re-show some stuff that's on the older pay-per-views.
Well, and then for, like, again, a kid who doesn't have the network or his parents don't buy it for him, it doesn't have pay-per-view. Dude, this is fantastic. You get to watch old wrestling. Yeah,
and the fact that this last promo that they did directly called out WrestleMania 30 for the second time. You know what I mean? So it could be really beneficial to say, like, hey, they've been bringing up this match. We're going to give you a chance to see it. And then put together a little video package of the Bray losses that he had after that match. And then him disappearing into obscurity. You know? Like, you could really build that into something tangible. So, I don't know. I think there's options. I think it puts WWE in a place where they thrive best, which is challenge and the opportunity to do more with it. And I think that, hell, you don't have to put on live TV anymore. Maybe take fucking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Maybe really put together something cool. Because if they do something where they say, hey, you can't even have your 40 people you need for SmackDown, maybe have a bunch of shit in the can.
I think a lot of, like, with all this, one of the things, like, outside of it, like, they talk about how workforces and companies are realizing, oh, we really didn't have to have all this office space. They're doing the same thing from home. They're fine. Yeah, you can do that similarly here. Like, take advantage. Do things differently. You have more variety. You know, you might find new effects, new efficiencies, new money-saving measures that allow you to have a better product overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it, and also I think something else is going to be really cool to see is all the chronicles and the 24s and the documentary they put on about the time that WWE had to figure out how they're going to keep going. Can you imagine the behind-the-scenes stuff we get out of this? Could be fucking really cool. And if you have a bunch of shit in the can that you end up not using, that would be a cool special too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the coronavirus mania you didn't see. I mean, and maybe film 3 different ends to the match. Do these matches, do them like cinematically, and have 3 different endings on it. So the people who do have it can't even leak what's going to happen. Because, hey, I don't know which one they're choosing. They had 3 or 4 endings. You know what I mean? And then you can have like this whole documentary later of, hey, the mania that could have happened.
Yeah.
The mania they filmed for. Like,
and never do a show in Tampa again because it's cursed.
Yeah, fuck Tampa, dude. Most of Florida could probably just break off into the ocean. I think I'd be okay with it. I was out there and it was horrible.
I second this. I got family in West Palm. It's a shit show.
Yeah.
It's the nicest part of Florida. No, it's the shittiest part of the show.
No, I think I was in Tampa. It was
Okay,
awful.
Why would you do that?
It was terrible. Let's see. Active cases 107,655. Closed cases 90,745. Some not depressing news. So that's cool. I mean, they've closed almost as many as are active.
Your suggestion reminds me of those books when you were a kid that was like select your own ending. You know, where it's like, if you want to do this, jump to page 50. If you want to do this, jump to page 60.
Or like a JRPG where you got to find the right ending, and I want to get the ending where it's the dog that wins the title.
Yeah, like, but they used to do that back before social media was a big thing. If they were filming a match for TV and they didn't like the way the ending did, they said, go out there and redo it. Yeah. So you'd be at like a Raw taping or something, and you'd see like 2 different endings to one match. You'd be like, what the fuck was that?
It's funny.
But I don't know.
Miranda sent me a message. Borg canceled Invasion, citing COVID-19 concerns.
Cancel Invasion?
Yeah, Borg.
Oh,
from Star Trek.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't know. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Nah, I think it's an interesting time for wrestling. Thank you guys for coming out and joining us. This is in part our own kind of. This is something we like to do. This is something we enjoy. This is, when things are kind of weird and crazy. It's a nice, fun thing to do every week. So thank you guys. We appreciate you so much for talking to us and letting us chat with you and talk wrestling.
Yeah. We
hope you all enjoy wrestling this weekend thereon, and we hope you come back.
Yeah, thanks for coming through. I mean, we don't do this for the fame and the glory, obviously. We're just here for the fun of it. We like drinking. We like talking wrestling. We like seeing what people think outside of our own little bubble. And we like doing it amicably.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a follow. Give us a Prime subscribe. It's free to you, but it buys us a beer. We got, if you go to wrestlingontherocks.com, you can pop over to our wrestling tees there, and if you subscribe to our YouTube, it would be really helpful. Actually, our YouTube's got shit.
If we got 100 YouTube subscribers, I'll start doing CrossFit with GR Lunar.
That's doubtful.
Well, I don't know. We can maybe make
It's
that
doubtful
happen.
we'll get there. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove him wrong. Get to 100, and he'll do CrossFit with GR Lunar.
Oh God!
The first 20 minutes of each episode is going to be GR Lunar trying to shake Clump on the way to the CrossFit place. Yeah, just follow me, and you just go down a bunch of back roads and shit.
And then I'm gonna stream after me dry heaving and aggressively shitting in a bathroom.
Don't. No one wants to see that.
Which is also dry heave.
Oh, yeah.
They're both dry heaves in their own
I'm
right.
just firing straight protein powder into a toilet bowl.
Okay.
I'm sandblasting it.
Gross.
It's cleaner than ever.
Gross.
But I think that does it for us, guys. Unless there's something else you want to talk about, tune in tomorrow night to AEW or NXT, whichever one you want.
But not both.
Flip back and forth, man. See what draws your attention. I'm curious to see what each of them does. Although I do think that NXT is going to have a lot of replays, where I think AEW probably doesn't have a lot they could. So I think I'm more curious to see what AEW is going to do.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for coming through. That's the last call. Check us out. Wash your hands. Have a drink. Stay hidden. Sleep forever. L'chaim.